What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a build going on in a caliber that I haven't built before. I don't have one of these. I've been kind of toying with the idea for a while. My wife bought me a barrel for Christmas, so that's the build we're going to be putting together today. So here in a minute we'll jump over to the bench, I'll show you all the parts that I have rounded up for this, and we'll get this thing thrown together. First off, I want to say thanks to you guys for subscribing, liking, commenting on the videos, good, bad comments, whatever the case is. Thank you guys for helping this channel grow. I know a lot of YouTubers say that and stuff, but I want to hook you guys up too. So a little while ago, I got some merch up on my website, shirts and hats and things like that. So I kind of want to do a giveaway for my subscribers. So let me lay it out for you. Here's the rules. You got to be subscribed to the channel. After I post this video up, I'll let the contest go for 2 months from the date I post this video. So I will make sure I put that date in the description so everybody's on the same page. And then at the end of it, I'll draw one winner. So if you guys go to the website and buy a t-shirt, I'll throw in a hat to that random winner. If you guys buy a hat, I'll hit you up, see what t-shirt you want, what size, and send that out to the random winner. I'm just kind of doing this on my own to try to give back to those you guys that support me. So if you guys want to get entered, make sure you subscribe, buy something off the website. At the end of the giveaway, I'll go through everybody that purchased something on the website, pick a random winner and send you the opposite of what you bought, whether a shirt or hat. Again, I appreciate you guys kind of growing this community. With that being said, let's jump into it. So I got parts and pieces from a bunch of different companies, Faxon, Tyrant, Palmetto. I kind of wanted to build a custom AR-15 because honestly, that's how I like to do it. I like to build my own. That way you're not buying a gun that's overpriced anyway, and then swapping out parts for other parts, and it ends up costing twice as much because you swapped out the parts that came on the gun. So we're gonna build one from scratch. So let's jump over to the bench. I'll show you all the parts and pieces that I got for this thing. I'll get it thrown together and show you guys how easy it is and how this thing turns out. Now, the one thing I don't have for it yet is an optic, so I'll work on that and get one for a future video. Maybe once I get that, we'll take this thing out and shoot it. But let's check out the parts. All right, guys, so here are all the parts and pieces that we are working with on this build. First off, like I mentioned, my wife got me a barrel for Christmas. This is a Faxon 20-inch fluted barrel in 224 Valkyrie. Like I mentioned, I don't have one of these in this caliber, so I'm excited to put this together. I know there's a lot of different options on the market as far as caliber go, but I wanted to try out the 224 Valkyrie because it kind of piqued my interest. So that's the barrel I got. I also went with a Faxon 224 Valkyrie or 6.8 SPC bolt carrier group. Faxon makes great stuff. I've never had a problem with any of their stuff that I have in any of my other builds. So that's what we're using as far as bolt carrier group and barrel. For the receiver set, I got a custom series kit from Palmetto State Armory. So thanks to them for that. This isn't like your normal run-of-the-mill receiver set. This is a custom receiver set. It looks pretty good, and I think it'll look good with the handguard that I got. This comes with the upper receiver, the lower receiver. The lower receiver is ambidextrous bolt catch, bolt release, which is kind of cool. So I'm excited to try that out. Also from Palmetto, I got a gas block and a gas tube. This is a rifle length gas tube, pretty standard stainless steel. Then I got their adjustable click switch gas block that I'm going to throw on this barrel. As far as lower parts go, I got this whole lower parts kit from Palmetto. Now some of this stuff I will be changing out for the Tyrant stuff, you know, kind of dress it up a little more. With this kit comes the lower parts kit, springs and detents, comes with a mil-spec trigger, comes with a trigger guard, comes with a buffer tube, buffer, and spring. This also comes with an MOE Magpul grip and the MOE Magpul buttstock. Like I mentioned, I will be using some stuff from Tyrant to kind of replace some of this stuff. So let's take a look at that next. So from Tyrant, their next gen AR buttstocks. These are actually pretty cool looking. I put one on a Bushmaster build if you saw that. These things are really nice looking, quality. They have some padding on them, easy one-handed operation. So that's the buttstock that we're gonna be using. I also got a grip from Tyrant. I got their Concept 1 grip. This is kind of rubber over molded. It's a pretty good looking piece. I got it in black. They have all this stuff in different colors if you want. But I got their grip for that AR, and then I also got one of their Concept 1 hand stops for this. So it has the same design features. It's just a little hand stop grip. You can put it either way on that hand guard, and I think that'll look really good. I also got their 4590 safety selector. It's ambidextrous. They're enhanced takedown pins, so I'll be using both of those. As far as the charging handle, they sent me one of their next gen AR charging handles, which these are awesome. I have one on that build I mentioned before. So if you guys haven't seen that video, make sure and go watch that. I'll try and link it in the description. But these things are really good looking too. It has that grippy kind of rubber on the front of that handle. It's ambidextrous. So I'm excited to see how this thing comes together. I'm also gonna use this Rave 140 AR trigger that I pulled out of my 6mm arc from Unit Precision that I did a video on recently. I'm going to throw that in this because I just had this one sitting around. So we're going to throw that in there and utilize that. I also got a next gen linear compensator and brake for this thing, which is pretty cool. It comes with the muzzle device and the blast shield. This kind of has a ratcheting feature to it that ratchets on. So you can pull that linear compensator off and just run the muzzle brake if you want, or throw that blast shield on. Totally redirects the sound down range, yet still giving it the braking capability of a regular muzzle brake. So that's what those things look like. I'm excited to try them out because I do like linear compensators. And then to finish it all off, I've got one of Tyrant's next gen 15.5-inch AR handguards. So this is what this thing looks like. Comes with a wrench for the barrel nut. And then this is the handguard. Like I mentioned, these come in a bunch of different colors if you guys want to do a different theme on your build. But that's the handguard. This is the 15.5-inch. It does have some rubber on the underside, kind of a slimline drop down section on the top. Has Picatinny front and rear. But I'm excited to try this thing out too and see what this thing looks like. I think the combination of this receiver set along with these Tyrant parts, I think this build's gonna look pretty mean. So I'm gonna get going on this thing. Like with all my videos, I'll have a link in the description that takes you to my website, and I'll have more information about all this stuff that I use in case you guys have questions or didn't catch what I was saying. I will have more info over there for all these parts, so you guys can go check them out if you want. Also, make sure you get in on the giveaway. There will be a link down there to take you to my website and check out the merchandise as well for that. So I'm going to throw you on time lapse. I'm going to get going on this thing. YouTube doesn't really like me showing you step-by-step stuff. They demonetize the videos for some reason. The people that review the videos obviously don't know anything about firearms, but let's throw this thing together. Alright guys, got that lower thrown together. That turned out pretty sweet. I love the look of that lower receiver with these Tyrant parts. That grip is really nice, the angle on it. It kind of has a bevel right here for that webbing on your thumb. That fits nice. Always when you're doing something like this, double check. Make sure that the safety works and functions how it's supposed to. That's what that thing looks like. I'm going to set this aside and get the upper thrown together. It's my preference. I like to put a little anti-seize on that barrel that goes into the upper receiver, and I also like to put anti-seize on the threads of the barrel nut. With all the heat cycles and everything in these guns, they can be a bear to get off down the road if you guys got to change the barrel or something. So I just like to throw some anti-seize on there so it makes it easier if down the road you do a barrel swap or something like that. Alright guys, ran into a problem here. So I'm putting this handguard on, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not, but right up in here where that handguard kind of angles back, when I go to slide this thing on, it's hitting and not letting it seat all the way back up against the upper receiver. Pull this thing off, and there's some little marks where that's hitting. I think what I'm going to do is just take a file and file both those sides, see if I can get that to slide on. I just want to let you guys know, so if you guys are watching this video and think that's a cool looking gun, I want to build one like that, and go to throw it together and then it doesn't fit, you don't have the information. So I just want to let you guys know that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to file on that a little bit, get that to fit on there. And that's kind of one of the things you run into with builds like this, mismatching parts and kind of building something that's unique. You kind of have to do a few things like that to get stuff to fit how you want it. As I was struggling with this handguard, I noticed that there's no M-lock slots in the bottom of this for that hand stop that I mentioned. So I may have to throw the... Never mind. I didn't notice this before either. It looks like there's some cutouts on the bottom of this. So yeah, there is M-lock slots. That rubber piece just comes out and you can place it wherever you want. So scratch that. That hand stop will work on this. I was a little worried there for a second. I just noticed that when I was throwing it on. But let's jump back into this. I'm gonna get this thing filed down, get this thing to fit, and wrap this thing up. So here's how this thing turned out. I got it all together. Yeah, I had to do some modification to it, but I think it turned out pretty sweet. Built out a custom AR with a bunch of different parts. Had to make them work a little bit. Like I stopped to mention, I had to do some fitting on that handguard. We'll see if anything comes of that, but I essentially had to trim off those little ears that stuck back to get this thing to fit flush with this receiver. I'm not sure if that's just a product of this receiver or not, but I got it to fit, trimmed off those little wings that came back on there. Then I had to send it off to get refinished. And by that, I mean, I took that same Sharpie I used at the gas block, touched up the paint a little bit, but that thing turned out pretty good. I like the way it looks. I got that hand stop on there, just had to remove a couple of those little rubber plugs. So that turned out sweet. That charging handle is very comfortable with the nice big wings and that rubber over molding on there. Safety selector, so far so good, feels comfortable. Works like it should. This is that trigger pull. It's a short, crisp trigger. Nice short reset. So there's a lot of guys that like stuff like this, custom stuff, a little bit different styling, things like that. Some guys hate that stuff. You know, it's all personal preference, but I wanted to build one of these out and show you guys that it is not that hard to build your own AR. I really do like this muzzle device. It is very quick. You just unscrew it off of there, pulls right off. Then you got the muzzle brake. If you want to run the linear compensator, you just throw that back on, screw it right down. It kind of ratchets down on there. And it is solid on there. Like I mentioned, I do need to get a optic for this thing. I'm not sure what I'm going to go with yet. I'll have to do some looking around, see what I come up with. So hopefully in the next video of this thing, I'll be throwing an optic on and we'll hit the range and check this thing out and see how this thing performs. Like I mentioned before, I'll have a link in the description with more information for all these parts and pieces that I used. In that build list, I'll also list all the tools and stuff that I use. So if you guys saw something and were wondering about it, I'll have a list of all those tools over there as well, so you guys can check those out. And don't forget to get in on the giveaway. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm going to do a giveaway to give back to you guys for supporting me. So if you go to the website and buy a t-shirt, hat, whatever you buy, at the end of the giveaway, I'll pick a random person that placed an order on Ballistically Challenged in that time frame. And if they bought a shirt, I'll send them a hat. If they bought a hat, I'll send them a shirt. Whatever you guys want, I'll reach out to you, get your info, and send that to you just for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll check you guys on the next one.